this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing indices and we're looking at square and cube roots. Now a square root, here is the square root of a, it is the same as a to the power of a half. So you just need to know that those two things are actually equal. And for a cubed root, so a cubed root is like a square root but it has a little 3 at the front of it. A cubed root is the same as an a to the power of a third. Okay, so we're going to do some questions with that today. So if I want to find the following, I want to find 25 to the power of a half. Now that looks a little bit strange, but remember that a power of a half is the same as a square root. So that's really just saying, what is the square root of 25? Now it might be helpful for you, you might want to rewrite that as square root of 25. And we can find out what the square root of 25 is. We can type it in the calculator if you need to, square root of 25. Or you may already know how to square root numbers. So the square root of 25 is 5. Okay, question 2. This is already written as a square root sign. The square root of 100 is simply 10. Okay, square root means what number times by itself will give you 100. 10 times 10 gives 100, so the square root of 100 is 10. Now that's just using numbers. You've probably square rooted numbers before. But in question 3, we want to square root letters. That's a little bit strange. Now, a square is actually the opposite of a square root. So if I want to square root d squared, the square and the square root actually kind of cancel each other out, and my answer is just d. Okay? So the square root of something squared is just the something that you started with, the d. Okay, now let's combine that. We have a normal big number here at the front, and we have some letters in this one. So first of all, I need to square root 16. The square root of 16 is 4. Now for this one, it's not an x squared, so we can't just kind of cross off that 6 and have it disappear. If you have any power higher than a 2, what you need to do is divide the power by 2. So that will become an x to the power of 3, because 6 divided by 2 is 3. Alright, now similarly we do very similar questions here with cubed roots. So the cubed root of 27, so have a look on your calculator, there is a button for cubed root. On my calculator it's right there. So cubed root, so you have to have that little 3 at the top, of 27 is 3. Okay, so that's just with numbers. Now with numbers and letters, I need to cube root the 8. So cube root of 8 is 2. Then for the pronumeral, when it is a cubed root, you have to divide the power by 3. Okay, so 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's what you need to remember. If you're doing a square root, powers are divided by 2. If they're cubed roots, powers are divided by 3. Question 7, big long messy thing here, to the power of a third. That's really just the same as a cubed root. So we're going to treat it just like we did this question up here. This time I'm not even going to rewrite it. So I want to cube root 64. So here's my cubed root of 64, which gives me 4. Then because it's a cubed root, each of my powers need to be divided by 3. J is the first one. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I don't need to write the 1, so I can just leave that as J. K is my second pronumeral. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, and just to show that we can go backwards and forwards here, we are going back to a normal square root again. I have a normal square root sign of 144 g to the power of 8, h to the power of 6, j to the power of 10. You can put as many things under that square root sign as you like. As long as you know the rules, then you can easily work it out. All I have to do is square root 144. So, since we're using the calculator, square root of 144 is 12. And because it's a square root, we divide by, do you remember? We divide our powers by 2. So it'll be g to the power of 4, h to the power of, divide by 2, 3, and j to the power of 10 divided by 2 is 5. And there it is. Okay, so now it's time for you to have a practice. Here are some questions just like the ones that we've just gone through. Pause the video, have a try at them, and then restart the video to check your answers. Question 1. 81 to the power of a half. A power of a half is the same as a square root, so I just want to square root 81. The square root of 81 is 9. Okay, square root of 49. Okay, I can just type that one in. Square root of 49, we should get 7. Now we get to the pronumerals. Square root of y squared. Okay, a square root means that I divide the power by 2, which would just be y to the power of 1. Square root of 4n to the power of 8. Square root this big number at the front here. Square root of 4 is 2. N is my pronumeral. And because it's a square root, I have to divide the power by 2, which will give me a 4. On the other half of the page, we have the cube roots. So the cubed root of 8. We can type that one in. Cubed root of 8 is 2. It's a nice easy one. Question 6. Cubed root of v to the power of 15. Cube root means I have to divide the power by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, and here's the big messy one at the end. A power of a third just means a cubed root. So I have to cube root 27. We can use the calculator for that part. Cube root of 27 is 3. And then each of these powers we have to divide by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. How did you go? Hopefully you found those pretty easy to do. Find some more of these questions from your textbook, worksheets, whatever you have. Practice as much as you can. And we'll see you next time. Bye.